Welcome to the Predictive Playbook. This is the early look at Week 2 in college football action, and what a Week 1 it was. The Florida State game sticks out to me, not because I actually feel lucky and covered it, but that story with quarterback Milton and his horrific injury back in 2018 and what he did for the Florida State team was just movie-like. Welcome to the show, Jimmy and George. How was your weekend, Jimmy?
It was pretty good. We're 4-2 on the season so far in college. We had a 3-1 Saturday, so took things kind of slow to get started here, but everything's going good so far. We had a great preseason, NFL 8-2, so we're looking to get off to a hot start as the regular season starts as well.
Awesome, and welcome to the show, George. And by the way, folks, George is doing this at about 2 in the morning, I think it must be over there in Greece. But
it's actually 6 p.m., but it's all good, John.
How was your week?
Not too bad. Can't complain. I'm super excited about Week 1 in the NFL. Although I feel like it's kind of a tricky season, I'm taking things slow, and I already got a best bet up at Sports Memo. It's only for $11, and I'm ready to get things going.
Awesome. Let's start it off right away here. We have Jimmy Adams is going to talk about the Toledo versus Notre Dame game. Notre Dame really had their hands full down the stretch there, and Florida State really had a chance to win that game. Toledo opens as a 16.5-point underdog, and this is a game I'm really intrigued to know where you're taking us with, Jimmy. Show us what the best bet is.
Yeah, so that was a great game with Florida State, and who were they playing again?
Florida State played Notre Dame last week.
Thank you. That was a great game with Florida State and Notre Dame. So, it was a shame that FSU couldn't quite pull it out. But anyway, into this one, we're going to look to Toledo plus 16.5. They are off a 49-10 win over Norfolk State. Can't take really too much from that game because it was such inferior competition. They scored 2 TDs off of blocked punts in the first half, 441 yards of total offense compared to Norfolk's 272. No turnovers, and like I mentioned, 2 takeaways. Quarterback Carter Bradley, 8 of 12, 103 yards, 1 TD, no picks, so a pretty productive day. Notre Dame, like you said, they had their hands full with Florida State. Jack Cohn looked good. I mean, he throws for, I believe, 4 TDs and 1 pick, but they really struggled rushing the football. Just 65 yards compared to 264 for Florida State. They averaged just 1.9 yards per carry in the contest. So on a short week, coming off an emotional game in Tallahassee, I think that Toledo is going to be able to score in this game, and so I recommend grabbing the 16.5, putting that in your pocket, and looking for Toledo to be able to hang around.
I like to pick quite a bit. It's a pretty big steam move, too. Toledo 19.5-point underdog when it opened, and it's being supported very, very well, to your point. So I'm on board with that one. Let's move on to Mad George here. We're going to do Oregon against Ohio State. Ohio State, I don't know what to think of them right now. I guess they pushed against Minnesota. Minnesota at times looked like a bad team. Then all of a sudden they looked like a good team. I'm concerned that Ohio State gave up all those points. So Oregon is a plus 14-point underdog at the Big Horseshoe. Where do we bet this game, George?
Let me start off by saying that this is a tough game. Like most pro cappers, the beginning of the college football season, we're looking for teams that have retained a lot of starters, and Oregon is one of them. I think they underperformed Week 1, considering that it was a sort of a trap game with a game against Ohio State coming up. I like the Ducks to keep it close here. I think they're a live dog. This is going to be a tough game. They are 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games following an ATS loss. So that's the trend I really like here. They're also 3-1-1 in their last 5 against the Big Ten. I don't know what to think of Ohio State yet. I think I obviously they're at home right now, but Ohio State was -14 at Minnesota, and now they're at home -14 against Oregon. Oregon's better than Minnesota. I think we can all agree to that one. So even though I understand that there's a lot of difficulties coming with this pick, I like the Ducks plus the points here. If they can score early, they keep this one close, they get the cover.
I like it, George. I like it. And then we have a fourth guest here. Well, actually, third guest if you don't count me, but I'm your guest. We have Jesse Schule in the house here, and he's going to take us into Texas versus Arkansas. That Texas team that is dying to be part of the SEC gets their chance now to play Arkansas, who was an upstart team the last 2 seasons, I would say. Jesse, what do you see the best bet in this matchup?
Well, I was pretty impressed with Texas in their opener, scoring 38 points on a ranked team. Their offense looked pretty solid with a balanced attack. Their quarterbacks combined to throw for 265 yards, 3 touchdowns on 18 of 26 passing, so they were fairly accurate. The Raging Cajuns are a pretty good team, so, the decisive victory looks pretty good for Texas. Of course, we know they can run the ball. Texas is now covered in 5 straight non-conference games. And I'm looking at Arkansas and a little less impressive. Their 21-point victory over Rice might look okay on the scoreboard, but when you look at the fact that they were losing at halftime, it was a tie game heading into the fourth quarter. You look at the quarterback play for Arkansas, and K.J. Jefferson was only 12 of 21 passing, a touchdown and an interception, just over 100 yards passing. Arkansas can run the ball as well, but Texas has a strong defense. The Razorbacks are 3-10-2 against the spread in their last 15 non-conference games. Money's come in on Texas. You would have got a much better line a little earlier on, but I still believe Texas will take this game on the road at Arkansas.
I like it quite a bit, Jesse. And now it's my turn, and we'll try to keep my mouth from motoring over that 2-minute and 30-second barrier. Make this short and sweet. I played Florida Atlantic last week, and they covered by about 2.5 points over Florida. I'm still not a big proponent of Florida, but they're playing a team that was absolutely hammered in South Florida. And I am going to back South Florida for this reason. So we have a very contrarian play here. They gave up 45 points. They did not score. They gave up 200-yard rushers, and it was the first time since 2015 that NC State had pulled off that trick. Their starting quarterback, Fortin, was benched after 5 drives, including 1 first down. They put in a freshman, Tim McCain, and he came out of the game too after throwing 2 interceptions, and they replaced him with the original starter, Fortin. So there's a lot of work to do on this South Florida team. However, Florida has a history of not being focused in these games. Florida is favored by 31.5. I believe it'll go up to 34.5, so you want to wait later in the week. And most importantly, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't have a little chart to show, right? So we have this angle. So quickly, bet on road teams in the first 4 weeks of the regular season. Finished last season with 3 consecutive losses. And last loss of the season was a bowl game or playoff game loss. That obviously is Florida. The host lost their last 2 games of the previous season, and that's South Florida. That combination, 38-7, 84% over the last 30 seasons. 14-1 against the spread, folks, over the last 10 seasons. Don't be afraid. Take South Florida plus the gazillion points. And let's see what happens this coming Saturday afternoon. So, guys, that's all I have. And one last thing here. Punt 50, as you see at the bottom of the screen, folks, is to get 50% off a 7-day pass at Sports Memo and Wager Talk. And it's only for you guys. This is not going to be blown across the internet and other social media platforms. It's only because you're watching this show. And it's our way of saying thank you for viewing our shows in the first place, and we greatly appreciate it. So, for Jimmy, Jesse, myself, and Matt George. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the viewers. And may all the wins be yours.